Hey everybody, it's Mega T Garrett here, and this is going to be my first ever firearms video. You've seen my shotgun in a few previous outros in my videos, and there was one piece I wanted to bring to the videos that I was waiting for, and that is finally here. So what I want to do for this first one is just keep it super simple. I basically want to just show the collection of guns that I have. And that will be a shotgun, a rifle, and a handgun. So we're just going to go through all the three that I have, talk about some functionality of each and how they work, and basically what I want to use each for. So let's get the first gun up here and let's get started. Okay, we have our first gun on the table here, and before we go any further, there are 4 rules that we need to talk about for those who are new to guns, and also for those who are used to guns but need to hear them again. There are the 4 rules of gun safety. And the first one is treat every single gun as if it was loaded with ammunition. The second rule is do not point the gun at anything you intend to destroy. The third one is keep your booger hook off the bang stick. Okay. Stop laughing. Keep your finger off the trigger until you have acquired your target. Booger hook off bang stick. And then the fourth one is make sure what is at your target and beyond. Those are the 4 rules of gun safety you always hear. So with those aside, we're going to go ahead and look at this first firearm in front of me. This is the one that you guys have seen in the videos before. This is a shotgun. It is a Remington 870 Express, and it was the first gun that I ever acquired. First gun I ever shot when I was like 12 years old with my dad was his 12 gauge shotgun. It was the first gun I ever fired. So I thought it was appropriate for me to get a shotgun as my first gun. This is going to be like my fun gun. It's going to be like taking it to the range and shooting it. You can shoot light loads out of it, or you can shoot stuff out of these that kick you pretty good. The potential in future is maybe to hunt with this gun with shotgun slugs in it. I would do that with a friend or someone to help me aim and everything, but that's potential. So to go with the functionality, we first check to see if the gun is empty. So the chamber is open. That's this part here. So I always like to tactically feel or finger my firearms to make sure they're empty. So the chamber is empty, and underneath here is the mag tube, and that is empty as well. So it is called a pump shotgun. So what that is, there's a little release lever in front of the trigger guard, not inside, in front. And you push that down. Actually, it's already depressed because the chamber is open, but if I pull this forward, that closes the chamber, closes the bolt. This is the state the gun would fire. If I need to open the chamber, I push this little lever on the side and work the pump backwards. That opens the chamber. So that is basically why it's called a pump shotgun, is because when you go to load another round, you pump it. Pump shotgun. And there's nothing better than that sound. Okay, so how does the ammunition get loaded in? So I'm going to open the chamber, put the gun back down. What I've got here is, we saw in one of my other pocket previous videos, is this is the ammunition that the shotgun shoots. It's called a 12 gauge shotgun shell, and I realized I wasn't facing straight towards you guys. Hopefully that was okay. This is a shotgun shell. So normally what it has is the brass on the bottom has a bunch of powder in it, and everything in the plastic usually is a bunch of lead shot, a bunch of tiny lead bullets. They can also be steel and other materials. So, but this is the standard type of round that is shot out of a shotgun. Now, it is an inert one. It's a dummy round. Smart ones were too expensive, so I got dummy ones. And the dummy ones, they have either rubber or a plastic disc right here for the firing pin of the gun to hit against, so they will not fire. This is an inert round, and it is made to test your gun when you've done upgrades or test the functionality. So, or to demo how a shotgun actually works. So, what you do with the chamber closed. The mag tube is underneath. You need to push this little door up, and you slide the shell into the mag tube. Now, this mag tube, which extends from here to here, which you can see better when the pump is pulled back, it can hold 4 shells. You can get extensions to go past this barrel and anywhere else. They can get ridiculous. So, the gun is not, it is, well, yeah, every gun is loaded. But there's no shot in the chamber. So, what you need to do to load a round without pulling the trigger is hit the slide release, you come back, and if the shell is now in the little lift gate here, so when I pump it forward, you can see the shell coming up here, and you push forward, it is now loaded into the chamber, the top barrel. So now I know this is an inert round, so I can go ahead and pull the trigger, and that would have shot the shell. Now what's going to happen is when I pull this back, it's going to eject the shell and hopefully not hit you guys. I don't think that hit you. But, so it throws the shells out, and the next shell, if there would have been one more here in the tube, would have been ready to be loaded in and loaded into the chamber for the next shot. So you just keep you shoot, pump, shoot, pump, shoot, pump. And that's how a pump shotgun works. Now, for those who know much about the shotgun here, I did some modifications already. This is not the standard stock. This is not the standard 4-inch. I changed these because I'm a short person, and that will actually be another video, and I'll give you more information about how that is. So that is my shotgun. Let's move on to the next gun. Okay, we have our next gun on the table, and this is the second gun I acquired. This is the rifle. And what we have here is that, yes, I know the scope looks ridiculous. I'll get to that in a minute. But what this is from a brand called CZ, Charlie Zulu. It's a Czechoslovakian brand, and yes, they're made in the Czech Republic. Now, the reason I got this is the Czechoslovakia makes a handgun called the CZ75. It's a really, really nice handgun. And I can talk about that a little later. But I was looking at their rifles, and I thought it might be nice for the first rifle for me to have is a .22 long rifle, which is a tiny cartridge. It's .22 inches in diameter, and it's made mainly for plinking, small arms, target shooting, and also pest control like prairie dogs, squirrels, stuff like that. Squirrel guns. So, but it can also be used for target shooting. There is no recoil with that ammunition, so it's an awesome round for beginners. And I wanted just a simple bolt-action rifle. And that's what this is. It's a bolt-action rifle in .22 long rifle. It is a CZ 455 American. Stainless steel barrel and chamber with a synthetic stock. Now, the way that this gun works is, let me put it down for a sec. In my pocket, I have a magazine. This gun takes a detachable magazine, and I don't have any dummy rounds for the .22 long rifle. The rim cartridges for dummy rounds and smart rounds are a little hard to find. So what you do, though, is you would load 5 rounds into this little polymer magazine. Then what you do is you insert the magazine, hopefully the right direction, into the bottom of the gun. Give it a little tug, make sure it's stuck. Now, this chamber is open right now. I don't know if you can see that because of the scope. But what you do is you lift the bolt, drive it forward, which will take a round out of the magazine, put it in the barrel, put the bolt down, and it is ready to fire. Now, it is commonly known that .22 long rifle, without going into too many details, is known as what a rim cartridge. And you don't want to dry fire on a rim cartridge rifle. It can do some damage. So I'm not going to pull the trigger, but what you do is you pull the trigger now and it shoots. What you do is you lift the bolt, drive it to the rear. Again, a shell will be ejected out of the chamber, drive it forward, and that will load the next round into the chamber, and you push it down to lock in the bolt. So when you work this and you're going a little faster, it's fire, 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 fire. That is a bolt action, so you have to work the bolt for each shot. And I just love the simplicity, I love the reliability of a bolt action. Is my barrel sticking out? Nope. Okay, so what's with the humongous scope on there, Terry? So, the reason I got a 22 long rifle as well is because I want to come up with a system for target shooting for the blind. Now, if you think about a scope magnifies the image like a telescope does for astronomers or anybody looking at birds or binoculars. Scope does the same thing with a couple other things in there that I'm not really concerned about. But if you think about what comes through a scope, all that comes through a scope is light. And that light can either be intense or not as intense. Now, say that you magnify the image that's coming through the scope at a target down range. If it has a high contrast target, say a big black center and white borders, when the scope is pointing at a white part, there is more light coming to the scope versus when it's pointing at a black part, there is less light coming to the scope. There was a blind gentleman on YouTube who has unfortunately passed away now, but he developed his own system to hook light sensors on the back of the scope, had a little computer to convert that to sound that he would hear in earbuds in his ears. I want to be able to recreate his system, but I'm using basically my cell phone and a pair of earbuds to do hopefully the same thing that he did. So that, again, will be another video where I explain that more. But the reason I have such a big scope is because the more I can magnify the image and closer to the target, the better I can get in a high contrast image. So that will be in a future video for the 22 long rifle. Love this gun. Alright, so that's the second gun. Put it down on the table here. Let's go ahead and look at the third gun, which is the one I've been waiting for. Okay, for the third gun of the evening is the one I've been waiting to show, to acquire to show you guys, because I wanted basically a 3-part collection. And what we've got is a handgun. Now, this is a CZ P07. That's just a particular brand model of the CZ75 platform. The CC75 is a full-size, all-metal gun, and this is basically, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, like a kind of a Glock, because the bottom of the gun, the green part, and I did not pick out the green, that's all they had, so this is screaming OD Army green, is polymer, it's plastic. The top part, the metal, including the barrel, are metal. So, with a handgun especially, I like to make sure that the barrel chamber is empty and that the mag well is empty. There's no magazine in here. So, the way that these guns work is you got a detachable magazine again. Now this one, it's a little bigger. It holds 15 rounds of 9mm. That's what this one takes, and pretty much everybody knows what a 9mm is. So what you do is you load your ammunition up in here, slide it in the bottom of the gun, like that. Let me work this so you guys can see. Work that away appropriate, not pointing at anybody. And there's controls here. So what you do is you hit the slide release, if I can from this angle. Here. Here we go. There we go. That closes the slide. Now, if there was ammo in the magazine, this would have loaded around into the chamber. Now, back here on the back of the gun, I'm not going to turn this towards you because I'll be aiming at me. We have a hammer. Now, the hammer is what, when you pull the trigger, the hammer falls, slams against the back of the slide, slamming the firing pin forward and firing the gun. What this particular model has is called a decocker. So when I hit this control, it drops the hammer about 3/4 of the way down, but not against the firing pin. If people were carrying this for self-defense, this is how they would carry it. They would carry it with a round in the chamber and the hammer dropped. So now in this state, we have no ammo in the magazine. We verified that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a grip. Actually, I'm going to bring it back around, face the other way. Okay. So finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. But when you are ready to shoot, and I won't be able to take a full grip since I don't want to be firing this towards you guys. You pull the trigger. Now watch the hammer. It's going to come back and then fire. That would have fired a shot if there was a bullet in the gun, which there is not. That is called double action because one trigger pull will cock the hammer and fire the gun. Now, for those who know what pistols do, when you actually fire a round, the bullet not only goes out the gun, but the slide comes back. Now, if there was another round in the chamber, it would come back and then loaded it again. Now, if you notice, the hammer is all the way back by the motion of the slide. So now I just pull the trigger. That is called single action because all it's doing is dropping the hammer. So what this gun is called a double action. And if the slide is racked, if there's ammunition in here, single action. Double action, single action pistol in 9mm. I wanted a gun with a hammer. You can find guns that don't have hammers, and we can go into a future about that. But I wanted a gun with a hammer so I can tactily tell what is going on in the back of the gun here. So to give a little more instruction, we drop the magazine out, lock the slide to the rear, face that towards you guys so you can see that's empty. Now in my pocket, I have a dummy round. This is a 9mm dummy round. This is what is shot out of these guns. It is 9mm in diameter, which is at about 0.355 inches. So it is a very, very common round. Now, when you load these into the magazine, you load them nose first, push them back. So that is one round loaded in the magazine. So now, I think I'll be able to do this. So, bigger hook off the main stick, load the magazine into the gun, close the slide. There is now a round in the chamber. If it were a live round, it would fire, but since it's a dummy round, it just goes like that. And then when you whack the slide, I don't know if that almost hit the camera or not, but it throws the round out of the slide, and if there was a second round, it would have loaded it. So that's how a handgun works, and then of course, like this button on this side, eject the slide when it's done, open it up. You should always present your guns like that. So that is basically the end of the video. I had the shotgun, the rifle, and the new CZ P07 that I acquired. And I shot 200 rounds through this last Sunday. I absolutely love this gun. For this, I mainly use for self-defense if I ever want to use a gun to defend my home, or if I ever consider getting a concealed carry permit. So that way I can either, one, protect someone who attacks me, or two, hand the gun to somebody who I know is also proficient in handguns to handle a situation, say if there's too many people and I can't verify what's beyond my target, the fourth rule. But say someone jumps on me or is trying to attack my wife beside me, I can have that defensive firearm with me. Or as a bedside gun if I hear a bump in the night. Also, they're just fun. They're good plinking guns. They're good to take to the range and just shoot with your buddies and just put some rounds down range on paper or steel just to have fun. So that is the introduction of my first firearms video. I hope that this types of videos are informative. I definitely want to bring like the upgrades I did the shotgun. I definitely want to bring how the system for the rifle distance shooting works. And if you want to see anything else with the handgun or want to know more about any of these guns, let me know. If you want me to do a Q&A video on guns, let me know. So my name is Terry, and we've come to the end of another one of my videos. But if you're new, I welcome you. This is a firearms video, and it's the first of its kind. In the past, I've done gaming videos. We're playing through Smash Brothers and a game for the blind called Shades of Doom right now. I do fitness videos, and I also do Q&A videos. So if you want to see more and you like what you see here, please hit that notification bell, subscribe, and share this video. And I hope the rest of you have a really fantastic evening.